first thing in the morning. A book review will be coming out today, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Whichever one wins that poll, which ends at 10 o'clock, that's the one that I'll be releasing. But I wanted to make a video today because last night news broke, or late evening yesterday, news broke that Jeremy Corbyn has been hit by an egg while visiting a North London mosque. Someone threw an egg at him and it hit him. And all the news is going ape shit about this. In fact, I can't wait to see today's headlines. I bet it's going to say Jeremy Corbyn smashes man's breakfast, he's a monster. But so he was hit by this egg. All the news is going, there's no evidence that the Labour leader was seriously hurt. Well, of course not. It's a fucking egg, not a hand grenade. But I wanted to say that if you have to throw eggs at people, if you have to physically assault people, just because you don't like their politics or because you don't like their ideas, then that just goes to show that your ideas aren't worth shit. And this goes out to everybody on the left who does similar things as well. Anybody who throws eggs at people from the left onto the right. Anybody who shouts abuse at Jacob Rees-Mogg's children, for instance, just goes out to you as well. Because we should not be degrading ourselves, particularly the working class. We should not be degrading ourselves to that level where we become the stereotype of the ruffian, of the hooligan, of the thug that the establishment, the corporate establishment, sees of us already. They already think we're peasants, we're nothing, we're criminals, we're wastrels, we're thugs, we're ruffians, we're hooligans, we're uneducated. The most rebellious thing you can do, to quote a colour, is to get educated. The only weapon that you should be hurling at politicians that you don't agree with is this. Your only weapons should be stats, evidence, and hard facts. They should be your evidence. Don't be throwing eggs at people. Don't be punching nobody. In fact, let me actually rephrase that. The only person it's acceptable to punch is a Nazi, because you cannot argue with a Nazi. It is impossible. Believe me, I'm trying. Cannot argue with a Nazi. Punch a Nazi. Anybody short of that, do not be throwing eggs at them. Do not be hurling abuse at their kids especially, right? Do not be throwing things and punching them and swinging punches at them in the street, because this happened to Owen Jones a few weeks ago as well. And as much as I think Owen Jones is a bit of a prick, a bit of an arrogant dick, he was spat at, people threw punches at him because they couldn't argue with what he was saying. They couldn't think of any one thing that he had said recently or had said before that they could stand in front of him and argue with him about. They couldn't think of any counterpoints to what he used to say or what he was saying. They couldn't think of anything to give back to him in terms of intellect, in terms of argument. So if your arguments, if your viewpoints compel you to throw eggs at people, if they compel you to carry out acts of violence or attempt to carry out acts of violence, I don't want to hear shit from you about politics. I don't want to hear nothing out of your mouth about politics. Shut up, mind your business, carry on with your life. Don't speak about things if you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So if you've got a viewpoint, you're more than welcome to express that. I think I speak for the entire country. We live in a free speech system. You're more than welcome to give your viewpoints across. But if you're compelled to incite violence, to carry out violence, to throw things at people, keep your mouth shut, because you clearly don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So keep your mouth shut until you've done the sufficient research to actually debate and actually argue and actually have a reasoned, sensible conversation with someone that doesn't descend into violence or throwing things at people. That's the only way the working class is ever going to get respect, is ever going to get itself taken seriously in mainstream politics and how the country is run. It's the only way. If we degrade ourselves to that level where we're physically assaulting people, we're just perpetuating exactly the same thing that the establishment thinks of us. So don't do it. Don't do it. I saw a video, didn't actually hear it myself on LBC, but Tom Watson filled in for James O'Brien on LBC. That's probably why I turned it off. But there was a video, a Jewish caller called in to Tom Watson, to discuss the anti-Semitism issue with him, and absolutely flamed Tom Watson, absolutely eviscerated him, destroyed him, wiped the floor with him. And all Tom Watson could do was whinge about anti-Semitism, complain about Luciana Berger and some other stuff. and he tried to back this caller into a corner where this caller would say something that Tom Watson could then accuse of being anti-Semitic. That's all he could do. He had no comeback. That is what we should be doing. Educating ourselves, becoming more intelligent, educated and more knowledgeable on this subject, that we can actually have a conversation and actually take things forward and actually expand ourselves and better ourselves. That is what we should be doing. Thanks for watching. Keep an eye out for the book review. It's coming out in a few hours, and I'll see you next time.